Hello, beautiful soul. Come sit with me for a while. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to settle into this moment. You've found your way here, and that tells me something wonderful about you. It tells me you're ready to release the worry that has been your companion for far too long, ready to begin a journey of healing that your heart has been calling for. I know what it feels like to carry worry like a heavy coat, even on the warmest days. To wake up in the morning and feel that familiar tightness in your chest before your feet even touch the floor. To go through your day with a constant whisper in your ear telling you all the things that could go wrong, all the ways life might disappoint you. You're not alone in this experience, dear one. Worry has touched every human heart at some point, and there's no shame in acknowledging its presence in your life. But here's what I want you to know, and this is so important. Worry is not who you are. It's simply something you've learned to do, and anything that's learned can be unlearned. Your true nature is peace, love, and perfect wholeness. The worry you carry is like dust on a beautiful mirror. The mirror underneath is still perfect. It just needs gentle cleaning to reflect its true brilliance once again. Today, we're going to explore 5 spiritual keys that will help you unlock the door to a life free from the grip of worry. These aren't complicated techniques that require years of study. They're simple, loving practices that you can begin using right away. Think of them as gifts from your highest self to your human heart, tools that will help you remember who you really are beneath all that concern and fear. The journey we're taking together is one of coming home to yourself. It's about recognizing that within you lies an infinite well of wisdom, strength, and peace that no external circumstance can touch. As we walk this path together, be gentle with yourself. Healing happens in layers, and each step you take is perfect and exactly right for where you are in this moment. Now, let's begin this beautiful journey of transformation. Your heart has been waiting for this moment, and I'm so honored to walk beside you as you discover the peace that has always been your birthright. Worry is such an interesting thing when we really look at it. It's become so normal in our world that we often don't even question it. We treat it like an old friend who just happens to drop by uninvited, staying far longer than welcome. But what if I told you that worry isn't actually helping you the way you think it is? What if I shared with you that worry is simply a learned response, a habit of mind that your brain picked up somewhere along the way? Let's explore this together with gentle curiosity. Worry often feels like we're doing something productive, doesn't it? It feels like we're somehow protecting ourselves or our loved ones by thinking about all the potential problems. But when we really examine worry, we discover something quite different. Worry is actually our mind's attempt to control the future, to somehow manage outcomes by thinking about them over and over again. The truth is, beloved, worry is like trying to solve tomorrow's problems with yesterday's fears. It takes us completely out of the present moment, which is the only place where life actually happens. When we're worried, we're living in a future that doesn't exist yet, creating suffering about events that may never come to pass. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. When you worry, your nervous system responds as if the danger is happening right now. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow. This beautiful body of yours, which is designed to support and heal you, gets flooded with stress hormones day after day. Over time, this constant state of alertness can affect your sleep, your digestion, your immune system, and your overall vitality. But here's the beautiful thing about understanding this mind-body connection. Once you see how your thoughts affect your physical experience, you also realize that you have the power to change both. When you change your thoughts, your body responds with relief. When you choose peace over worry, your entire system begins to relax and heal. Think of worry like this. If your mind were a garden, Worry would be like weeds that have been allowed to grow wild. The weeds aren't the true nature of the garden. They're just plants that have been given too much attention and water. The good news is that underneath those weeds, the soil is still rich and fertile. The potential for a beautiful garden still exists. It just needs some loving care and the right seeds to flourish. Worry is not your fault, sweet soul. You didn't choose to become a worrier one day. Most often, worry begins early in life as a response to uncertainty or instability. A young child's mind learns to anticipate problems as a way of feeling safer in an unpredictable world. Or perhaps you learned worry from well-meaning adults who thought that by worrying about you, they were showing love and care. The beautiful truth is that worry was once a survival mechanism that served a purpose. It kept our ancestors alert to danger and helped them navigate genuine threats. But in our modern world, this ancient alarm system often gets triggered by situations that aren't actually dangerous. A difficult conversation we need to have, a decision we need to make, or simply the normal uncertainties of being human. Understanding this helps us approach our worry with compassion rather than judgment. You haven't been doing anything wrong. Your mind has been trying to protect you in the only way it knew how. But now you're ready to teach it a new way, a way that brings peace instead of stress, trust instead of fear, and healing instead of tension. Now, let's explore the first spiritual key to releasing worry and beginning your healing journey. This key is awareness, the gentle, loving practice of observing your worry without becoming it. This might sound simple, but it's actually quite profound. Most of the time, when worry arises, we immediately become the worry. We don't see it as something happening within us. We experience it as who we are in that moment. But you are not your worry, dear one. You are the awareness that notices the worry. You are the loving observer who can watch thoughts come and go like clouds across the sky of your consciousness. This shift from being worry to witnessing worry is the beginning of all transformation. When you learn to step back and observe your worry with gentle curiosity, something beautiful happens. The worry begins to lose its power over you. It's like the difference between being caught in a thunderstorm and watching a storm from the safety of your home. The storm is still there, but you're no longer at its mercy. Let's practice this together right now. Take a comfortable breath and bring to mind something that has been worrying you lately. Don't choose the biggest worry you have. Start with something smaller. Now, instead of diving into the worry, step back and simply notice it. What does the worry feel like in your body? Where do you sense it? In your chest, your stomach, your shoulders? What thoughts are associated with this worry? Can you observe these sensations and thoughts as if you were a loving friend, curious but not alarmed? Notice that there's a part of you that can observe the worry. This part of you isn't worried at all. It's simply aware. This is your true self, your highest consciousness, the part of you that is always at peace no matter what storms may be passing through. As you practice this awareness, you might notice that the worry begins to soften naturally. You haven't done anything to push it away or fix it. You've simply loved it with your attention, and love always transforms. This is the miracle of consciousness. When we bring loving awareness to any experience, it begins to change on its own. The breath can be your greatest ally in developing this awareness. When you notice worry arising, the first thing that often happens is that your breathing becomes shallow, or you might even hold your breath. But when you consciously deepen your breath, you signal to your nervous system that you're safe. You create space between yourself and the worry. Try this now. Breathe in slowly and imagine you're breathing in peace. As you exhale, let yourself release any tension you're holding. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more present, more aware, more connected to the truth of who you are. Your breath is always available to you as an anchor to the present moment, a gentle way to come back home to yourself whenever worry tries to pull you into the future. This practice of awareness doesn't mean you'll never feel worried again. It means that when worry does arise, you'll have a different relationship with it. Instead of being overwhelmed by it, you'll be able to hold it gently, like a mother holding a frightened child. You'll be able to say, "I see you, worry. I understand you're trying to protect me, but I'm safe right now, and I choose peace." As you develop this skill of loving awareness, you'll begin to notice worry earlier in the process. You'll catch it before it builds into anxiety or panic. You'll be able to interrupt the cycle of worried thoughts before they create stress in your body. This is the beginning of true freedom, not the absence of all difficult emotions, but the ability to be present with whatever arises without losing yourself in it. The beautiful thing about this first spiritual key is that you can use it anywhere, anytime. You don't need special equipment or perfect conditions. You simply need the willingness to pause, breathe, and remember that you are so much more than any worry that might be visiting your mind. You are the vast, peaceful awareness in which all experiences arise and pass away. As you begin to practice this gentle observation, be patient with yourself. Like any skill, it takes time to develop. Some days it will feel easy and natural. Other days, the worry might feel so strong that it's hard to step back from it. Both experiences are perfect and normal. The goal isn't to be perfect at this. The goal is to be kind to yourself as you learn a new way of being. This brings us to our second spiritual key, the sacred breath and the beautiful practice of grounding yourself in the earth's healing energy. Your breath, sweet soul, is so much more than just air moving in and out of your lungs. It's the bridge between your worried mind and your peaceful heart. It's the thread that connects you to life itself, and it's always available to bring you back to center. When worry takes hold, one of the first things that happens is that our breathing becomes quick and shallow, sometimes moving up into our chest instead of flowing deep into our belly. This sends a message to our nervous system that we're in danger, even when we're perfectly safe. But when we consciously work with our breath, we can send the opposite message, that we're safe, that we're supported, that all is well. Let's explore this together. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Take a normal breath and notice which hand moves more. If it's the hand on your chest, that's completely normal, especially if you've been carrying worry for a while. Now, let's practice breathing in a way that nurtures and calms your entire being. Breathe in slowly through your nose, allowing your belly to expand like a balloon filling with air. Let your chest stay relatively still as your diaphragm does the work. This is how you breathed naturally as a baby, before worry taught you to hold your breath in anticipation of problems. As you exhale, let your belly gently contract, releasing not just air, but any tension you've been holding. With each breath, you can set an intention. As you breathe in, you might say to yourself, "I am breathing in peace." As you breathe out, "I am releasing worry," or perhaps, "breathing in love, breathing out fear." Find words that feel right for you, or simply focus on the sensation of breath moving through your body like a gentle wave. The earth beneath you is another powerful ally in releasing worry. Even if you're sitting inside a building right now, stories above the ground, you're still connected to the earth's energy. The earth has been here for billions of years, witnessing countless storms and seasons, always returning to balance. It offers you its stability and strength whenever you're willing to receive it. Here's a beautiful practice you can do anywhere. Close your eyes and send your awareness down through your body, through the floor, through the foundation of the building, into the earth below. Feel yourself connecting to this ancient, wise energy that has supported all life. The earth doesn't worry about tomorrow's weather or next season's changes. It simply remains present, solid and nurturing. You can enhance this grounding practice by actually touching the earth when possible. Walk barefoot on grass, sit against a tree, or simply place your hands on the soil in a garden. Science is now showing us what indigenous peoples have always known, that direct contact with the earth can actually change the electrical state of our bodies, reducing inflammation and stress hormones. But even when you can't physically touch the earth, you can still access its grounding energy through your imagination and intention. Visualize roots growing from the base of your spine, reaching deep into the earth. These roots anchor you, drawing up nourishment and stability. When worry tries to pull you into the spinning thoughts about the future, these roots keep you steady in the present moment. Your breath and your connection to the earth work together beautifully. As you breathe in, you can draw earth energy up through your body. As you breathe out, you can send any worry or tension down through your roots to be transformed by the earth's infinite capacity for healing. The earth doesn't judge your worry or try to fix it. It simply receives it and transforms it into something useful, just as it transforms fallen leaves into rich soil. Practice this grounding breath for just a few minutes each day, and you'll begin to notice how much more centered and peaceful you feel. Your nervous system learns that it's safe to relax. Your mind discovers that it doesn't need to race ahead to solve problems that don't exist yet. Your body remembers how to be at ease. When you combine conscious breathing with grounding, you create a sanctuary within yourself that no external circumstance can disturb. You become like a mountain. Storms may pass around you, but your foundation remains unshakable. This isn't about becoming emotionally numb or disconnected from life. It's about finding your center so you can respond to life's challenges from a place of wisdom rather than reacting from a place of fear. Our third spiritual key opens the door to one of the most transformative realizations you can have, that you have the power to choose your thoughts, and your thoughts have the power to transform your entire experience of life. This isn't about positive thinking in a superficial way or pretending that difficult situations don't exist. It's about understanding that thoughts are energy, and like any energy, they can be directed and transformed. Most of us have been taught to believe that thoughts just happen to us, that we're victims of whatever pops into our minds. But this isn't true, beloved. You are not at the mercy of your thinking mind. You are the consciousness that can observe thoughts, evaluate them, and choose which ones deserve your attention and which ones you can gently release. Worried thoughts often feel so urgent, so important, so real. They come with such conviction that we rarely question them. But when we start to examine our worried thoughts more closely, we often discover that they're based on assumptions rather than facts. They're projections into a future that hasn't happened yet, or they're echoes from past experiences that may not be relevant to our current situation. Here's a gentle way to work with worried thoughts. When you notice your mind spinning with concern, pause and ask yourself these loving questions. Is this thought true? Can I absolutely know that it's true? How do I feel when I believe this thought? Who would I be without this thought? These questions, which come from the beautiful work of Byron Katie, can help you see that many of your worried thoughts are simply stories your mind is telling, not absolute truths you need to accept. Let's say you're worried about a conversation you need to have with someone. Your mind might be telling you, this is going to be awful, they're going to be angry, it's going to ruin our relationship. But are these thoughts true? Can you know for certain that this is how the conversation will go? How does believing these thoughts make you feel? What would it be like to approach this conversation without these limiting beliefs? This doesn't mean you ignore potential challenges or fail to prepare thoughtfully for important conversations. It means you don't let anticipated problems rob you of your peace before they even happen. It means you trust in your ability to handle whatever actually arises, rather than exhausting yourself by trying to solve imaginary problems. One of the most powerful ways to transform worried thoughts is to replace them with thoughts that serve your highest good. This isn't about lying to yourself or forcing positivity when you don't feel it. It's about choosing thoughts that are both truthful and supportive. Instead of, "This is going to be awful," you might choose, "I trust in my ability to handle this situation with wisdom and grace." Instead of, "I can't handle this," you might choose, "I am stronger than I know, and I have support available to me." The key is to find replacement thoughts that feel authentic to you. If a thought feels too big or unrealistic, start with something smaller that you can genuinely believe. If "I am completely confident" feels false, try "I am learning to trust myself more each day." If "everything will be perfect" feels like you're lying to yourself, try "I trust that whatever happens, I will find a way through it." Your subconscious mind is always listening to the thoughts you think repeatedly. It doesn't judge whether these thoughts are helpful or harmful. It simply accepts them as instructions for how to feel and what to expect. When you consistently think worried thoughts, you're programming your subconscious to create more experiences that match those thoughts. But when you choose thoughts of peace, trust, and love, you're programming your subconscious to attract experiences that align with those higher frequencies. This is why affirmations can be so powerful when used correctly. An affirmation isn't a magic spell that instantly changes your life. It's a tool for reprogramming your mental habits. When you repeat statements like, "I choose peace over worry," or "I trust in the perfect unfolding of my life," or "I am safe and supported in this moment," you're creating new neural pathways in your brain. You're teaching your mind to default to peace instead of panic. The most effective affirmations are those that feel good when you say them, even if they're not completely true yet. They should stretch you gently toward where you want to be without making you feel like you're lying to yourself. You can start with affirmations like, "I am willing to choose peace," or "I am learning to trust," or "I am open to feeling safe." These create space for growth without demanding instant transformation. Remember, changing thought patterns is like changing any habit. It takes time, patience, and consistent practice. Be gentle with yourself as you learn this new skill. Some days it will feel easy to choose peaceful thoughts. Other days, the worried thoughts might feel overwhelming. Both experiences are part of the process. What matters is not that you're perfect at this, but that you're committed to treating yourself with love as you grow. This brings us to our fourth spiritual key, which is perhaps the most important of all: self-compassion and inner nurturing. So often, the voice of worry in our minds is harsh and critical. It tells us we should have done things differently, that we're not prepared enough, that we're somehow inadequate to handle life's challenges. This inner critic might think it's protecting us by pointing out all our potential flaws and failures, but in reality, it's creating more stress and making us less capable of responding to life with wisdom and grace. True healing begins when we learn to speak to ourselves the way we would speak to our dearest friend. When someone you love is frightened or worried, you don't berate them or tell them all the ways they might fail. You offer comfort, reassurance, and gentle guidance. You remind them of their strengths and their past successes. You hold space for their fears while helping them remember their resilience. You deserve this same kind of loving treatment from yourself, sweet soul. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation for all other relationships in your life. When you treat yourself with harsh criticism, you teach others that this is how you expect to be treated. But when you speak to yourself with love and respect, you model healthy boundaries and attract people who treat you well. Let's explore what self-compassion looks like in practice. When you notice worry arising, instead of judging yourself for feeling worried, you might say something like, "Of course you're feeling worried about this. It's something that matters to you, and it's natural to have concerns. You're human, and humans sometimes worry. This doesn't mean anything is wrong with you." This kind of gentle self-talk creates safety within your own mind and heart. Another powerful practice is to place your hand on your heart when you're feeling worried or stressed. This simple gesture activates your body's caregiving system, releasing hormones that promote feelings of safety and connection. As you place your hand on your heart, you might say to yourself, "This is a moment of difficulty. Difficulty is part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment." The practice of mirror work can be especially healing for those who struggle with worry and self-criticism. This involves looking into your own eyes in a mirror and speaking to yourself with love and encouragement. At first, this might feel awkward or even painful, especially if you're used to avoiding your reflection or focusing on perceived flaws. But with time and practice, mirror work can transform your relationship with yourself completely. Start small with mirror work. Look into your eyes and simply say, "Hello, beautiful soul," or "I see you and you matter." Notice any resistance that comes up and treat that resistance with compassion too. You might say, "I notice this feels challenging, and that's okay. I'm learning to love myself, and that takes courage." As you become more comfortable with mirror work, you can add affirmations that address your specific patterns of worry. Look into your eyes and say things like, "You are capable of handling whatever comes your way," or "You are loved and supported," or "You deserve peace and happiness." The combination of eye contact and loving words sends a powerful message to your subconscious mind. Creating internal safety is essential for healing worry. Many people who struggle with chronic worry never learned how to create a sense of safety within themselves. Perhaps their childhood environment was unpredictable, or they learned early that the world was a dangerous place where vigilance was required for survival. If this resonates with you, know that it's never too late to become the loving parent to yourself that you needed then. You can create internal safety by establishing daily practices that nurture and comfort you. This might include starting your day with a few minutes of gentle breathing, taking warm baths, drinking tea mindfully, listening to soothing music, or spending time in nature. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities for a nervous system that has been on high alert for too long. Pay attention to the small ways you can nurture yourself throughout the day. When you feel worry starting to build, ask yourself, "What do I need right now?" The answer might be as simple as a glass of water, a few deep breaths, a moment to step outside, or a gentle reminder that you're doing the best you can. Self-compassion also means accepting that healing isn't linear. There will be days when you feel peaceful and confident, and days when worry feels overwhelming again. Both are part of the journey. On the difficult days, instead of judging yourself for going backwards, you can say, "This is a challenging day, and that's okay. I'm still learning and growing. Tomorrow is a new opportunity to practice peace." The goal isn't to never feel worried again. It's to develop such a loving relationship with yourself that when worry does arise, you can hold it gently, like a mother comforting a frightened child. You become your own source of safety and reassurance, which means you're no longer dependent on external circumstances being perfect in order for you to feel okay. This inner nurturing creates a foundation of self-love that makes all the other spiritual keys more effective. When you treat yourself with kindness, your nervous system relaxes. When your nervous system is relaxed, it's easier to practice awareness, to breathe deeply, to choose peaceful thoughts, and to trust in the flow of life. Self-compassion isn't just a nice idea, it's the fertile soil in which all healing grows. This beautiful foundation of self-love naturally leads us to our fifth and final spiritual key, the practice of trust and divine surrender. This might be the most challenging key for many of us, especially if we've spent years believing that we need to control everything in order to feel safe. But here's a profound truth that can transform your entire experience of life. You are not meant to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are not responsible for controlling every outcome or preventing every possible problem. Trust is not about being naive or passive. It's about recognizing that there's a greater intelligence at work in your life. Call it the universe, God, divine love, or life itself. This intelligence has been orchestrating the perfect unfolding of existence for billions of years. The same force that guides the seasons, grows the flowers, and keeps the planets in their orbits is also lovingly guiding your life, even when you can't see the bigger picture. When we try to control everything through worry and mental planning, we actually block the flow of this divine intelligence. It's like trying to direct a river with our bare hands, instead of allowing it to follow its natural course. The river knows where it's going. It has carved canyons and nourished entire ecosystems by following its innate wisdom. Your life has this same kind of natural intelligence, and worry interrupts your ability to feel and follow it. Surrender doesn't mean giving up or becoming helpless. It means doing your part with love and dedication, then releasing your attachment to specific outcomes. It means trusting that whatever unfolds will ultimately serve your highest good, even if you can't understand it in the moment. This kind of surrender actually makes you more effective, not less, because you're working with life's natural flow instead of against it. Think about the times in your life when you've been happiest and most at peace. Chances are, these were moments when you weren't trying to control anything, when you were fully present, trusting the moment, allowing life to unfold naturally. Perhaps you were watching a sunset, holding a sleeping child, or laughing with friends. In these moments, you instinctively knew how to surrender to the beauty of what was happening. You can cultivate this same quality of trust in the midst of uncertainty. When worry arises about the future, you can gently remind yourself, I don't need to figure everything out right now. I can take the next right step and trust that the path will unfold as I walk it. This doesn't mean you don't plan or prepare. It means you hold your plans lightly, knowing that life might have even better ideas than the ones you've imagined. Prayer and meditation can be powerful allies in developing trust. These practices don't require specific religious beliefs. They're simply ways of connecting with the loving intelligence that pervades all existence. When you pray or meditate, you're acknowledging that you're part of something greater than your individual concerns. You're opening yourself to receive guidance, comfort, and perspective from a source of infinite wisdom. Even if prayer or meditation feels unfamiliar, you can start with simple practices. You might say, help me trust, or show me the next step, or fill me with peace. You might sit quietly and ask, what would love do in this situation? Then listen with your heart for the gentle guidance that comes not as a loud voice, but as a subtle knowing, a sense of rightness, or a feeling of peace about a particular direction. Surrender also involves releasing the need to know how everything will work out. Your mind wants to understand the complete plan before it feels safe to relax, but life rarely works that way. Most of the beautiful surprises and synchronicities in your life came from directions you never could have anticipated. When you trust the process, you make space for miracles that your limited perspective couldn't have imagined. Practice saying these words with genuine feeling. I trust in the perfect unfolding of my life. I release the need to control outcomes. I am guided, protected, and loved. Notice any resistance that comes up and treat that resistance with compassion. Learning to trust is a process, especially if life has taught you that the world isn't always safe or predictable. Now that we've explored all 5 spiritual keys, let's look at how they work together as a complete system for transforming worry into peace. These keys aren't meant to be used in isolation. They're designed to support and strengthen each other, creating a comprehensive approach to healing that addresses your mind, body, and spirit. Awareness is the foundation that makes everything else possible. When you can observe your worry with loving detachment, you create space for all the other practices. Conscious breathing and grounding provide immediate tools for calming your nervous system and returning to the present moment. Transforming your thought patterns gives you the power to choose peace over panic. Self-compassion creates the inner safety necessary for all healing, and trust allows you to release the exhausting burden of trying to control everything. These keys work together like a beautiful symphony. When worry arises, you might begin with awareness, noticing the worry without becoming it. Then you might use your breath to ground yourself in the present moment. From this centered place, you can examine your worried thoughts and choose more peaceful ones. Throughout the process, you treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a beloved friend. And finally, you surrender the need to have all the answers, trusting that you're supported and guided even when you can't see the full picture. Some days you might need all 5 keys. Other days, 1 or 2 might be enough to restore your peace. The beauty of having multiple tools is that you can choose the ones that feel most helpful for your particular situation. If you're feeling anxious in your body, breathing and grounding might be most important. If your mind is spinning with worried thoughts, awareness and thought transformation might be your focus. If you're being hard on yourself, self-compassion might be the key that unlocks everything else. Creating a personal healing practice means finding a rhythm that works for your life. This doesn't need to be complicated or time-consuming. Even 5 minutes each morning can create profound shifts over time. You might start your day with a few conscious breaths and a loving affirmation. During stressful moments, you might pause to ground yourself and choose a peaceful thought. Before sleep, you might practice gratitude and surrender any worries to the divine intelligence that guides your life. Consistency is more important than perfection. It's better to practice these keys gently for a few minutes each day than to attempt hour-long sessions that you can't maintain. Think of this practice like tending a garden. Small, regular attention creates more lasting results than sporadic, intense effort. Be patient with yourself as you develop these new habits. Your nervous system has been conditioned to respond to life with worry, and it takes time to create new neural pathways that default to peace instead of panic. Some days the practice will feel natural and easy. Other days it might feel like you're swimming upstream. Both experiences are normal and necessary parts of the healing process. Here are some practical tools you can begin using immediately to support your journey from worry to peace. Start each morning with what I call the peace practice, 3 simple steps that set the tone for your entire day. First, before you even get out of bed, take 5 deep breaths and set an intention for how you want to feel that day. You might say, "Today I choose peace," or "Today I trust the process," or simply, "Today I am kind to myself." Second, spend a few moments in gratitude. This isn't about forcing positive feelings if you're not experiencing them naturally. It's about gently directing your attention toward what's working in your life, what you can appreciate, even if it's as simple as having a roof over your head or air to breathe. Gratitude is like sunshine for your soul. It naturally melts away the shadows of worry and fear. Third, ask yourself, what's one loving thing I can do for myself today? This might be as simple as drinking an extra glass of water, taking a short walk, calling a friend, or speaking to yourself with kindness. When you start your day by committing to your own well-being, you're much less likely to spend the day depleting yourself with worry. Throughout the day, practice what I call worry interruption. This means catching yourself as soon as you notice worried thoughts beginning to spiral. You don't need to fight the thoughts or judge yourself for having them. Simply pause, take a deep breath, and ask, is this thought helping me right now? If the answer is no, gently redirect your attention to something that brings you peace, your breath, your feet on the ground, a beautiful sight, or a loving thought about someone you care about. Keep a small notebook or use your phone to collect peace anchors, words, phrases, or images that instantly help you feel calmer. These might include favorite affirmations, photos of loved ones, inspiring quotes, or memories of peaceful moments. When worry strikes, you can refer to your collection and choose something that helps shift your energy. Create an evening ritual that helps you release the day's worries and prepare for restful sleep. This might include a warm bath, gentle stretching, journaling, or simply sitting quietly and acknowledging yourself for making it through another day. Before sleep, you can practice what I call divine filing, mentally placing any remaining concerns into the loving hands of the universe, trusting that they'll be held safely while you rest. When worry feels overwhelming, remember that you have emergency tools available. The fastest way to interrupt acute worry is through your breath. Take 4 deep breaths, making your exhale longer than your inhale. This immediately activates your body's relaxation response. Place your hand on your heart and remind yourself, this feeling will pass. I am safe right now. I can handle whatever comes. Journal prompts can be incredibly helpful for processing worry and discovering the deeper fears beneath surface concerns. Try writing about questions like, what am I really afraid will happen? What would I do if I wasn't afraid? What evidence do I have that I'm capable of handling challenges? How can I support myself through this uncertain time? Writing by hand, if possible, creates a different kind of processing than typing and can help you access deeper wisdom. Remember that seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Talk to trusted friends, family members, or professionals when worry feels too big to handle alone. Sometimes the simple act of speaking your fears out loud to someone who cares about you can dramatically reduce their power over you. My beautiful, brave soul, we've traveled quite a journey together today. You've learned 5 powerful spiritual keys that can transform your relationship with worry forever. But more importantly, you've remembered something profound about who you are. You are not a victim of your circumstances or your thoughts. You are a magnificent being with infinite capacity for peace, love, and joy. The worried thoughts that have been visiting your mind are not your identity. They're simply old patterns that are ready to be transformed with love. Every time you choose awareness over unconsciousness, breath over anxiety, peaceful thoughts over worried ones, self-compassion over self-criticism, and trust over control, you're literally rewiring your brain for happiness. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and that's perfectly okay. Healing is not a destination you arrive at, but a way of being you cultivate moment by moment, choice by choice. Be gentle with yourself as you practice these new ways of thinking and being. Celebrate the small victories, the moment you caught yourself worrying and chose to breathe instead, the time you spoke to yourself with kindness rather than criticism, the day you decided to trust instead of trying to control everything. You have everything within you that you need to live a life of peace and joy. The same intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair knows exactly how to guide you through any challenge. Your job is not to figure everything out, but to stay present, keep your heart open, and trust the process of your beautiful, unfolding life. The world needs your unique gifts, dear one. When you free yourself from the prison of worry, you become available to share your light with others who are still struggling in the darkness. Your healing creates ripples of love that touch lives in ways you may never know. By choosing peace, you're not just transforming your own life, you're contributing to the healing of our entire world. So take these keys and use them with love. Practice them with patience. Trust in their power to transform your life from the inside out. And remember always that you are loved beyond measure, guided every step of the way, and capable of creating a life filled with peace, joy, and beautiful surprises. The journey from worry to peace begins with a single breath, a single loving thought, a single moment of trust. That moment is available to you right now. Take it, precious soul. Your peaceful, joyful life is waiting.